boy. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Peruvian Red Terran player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is NeO. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss. He is blue, representing Eximius Gaming. Just 2-0'd his previous opponent, now he's up against a brand new Terran. It is Fate. With no chaos. Oh boy, shout out to Crown in the chat. I say shout out to Crown, exclamation mark, Fornada Crown in the chat. Mate, it's great that you're cheering on NeO. It's beautiful, it's amazing. But why are you not on the bracket? I know it's like the Chilean National Day or whatever, and people are getting drunk and they're getting wasted and they're celebrating how good and great it is to be Chileno. But mate, StarCraft. When was the last time Crown played in the Sentimiento Latino? Come on, man. Come on. Ay, ay, ay. But for those wondering, NeO is a bit of a hybrid. Of course, he was born and raised in the land of Peru, but currently, because of his student visa, he is living in Chile, living and studying to become a lawyer. So he is in law school, fun fact. So because of that, honestly, he does try and juggle StarCraft and law school both at the same time. Sometimes, of course, StarCraft has to take a bit of a backseat and he has to focus on his exams and on his studies, but he is trying his best to play as much StarCraft as he can. Again, like, obviously we want to support him with his studies and his career choice, but he has a lot of passion for StarCraft, a lot of love for StarCraft, and here he is doing what he can. Opening up standard, no proxy out on the map or anything crazy like that. He's sending his Reaper across the map. Meanwhile, Fate does have a cheeky probe here towards the north. We'll see if anything comes of it. He decides to throw down a proxy pylon. And meanwhile, ooh, the Reaper actually seeks into the main base despite the positioning of the buildings. Because of this, you know, he does see a little bit, confirms the positioning of the second pylon, confirms the timing of the natural. And more importantly, he keeps the Reaper alive, so he is able to use it for a follow-up scout, and even, again, like, confirm if an army is moving out on the map. So nice move so far by NeO. And really, I'm waiting to see what the tech choice is going to be here. 2 additional gateways get thrown down, so 3 gate opening here from Fate. This is very reminiscent of game number 1 versus Mako. I'm waiting for the Robo to be thrown down for that Warp Prism. Meanwhile, Reaper... Oh, no! Oh, God! Some pathing issues there. The Reaper is unable to escape. It gets taken out. Ay, ay, ay. And this is the difference between NeO and Mako, because NeO, he is going not for some Banshees, he is going for a Widowmine drop. Oh my god. Not an overly committed Widowmine drop. You know, there's no armory behind this, so you don't need detection. But regardless, he is going to be applying that pressure. He is going to be trying to harass and make some chaos happen here in the mineral lines. Meanwhile, there's the proxy. It is 4 gateways. 4 gates in total. My god. No Robo for a War Prism. No Twilight Counter for Blink. Just gateway units. And this is still scary. It's Protoss. It's always scary. It's my birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Crown. Happy birthday. Feliz. I almost said Feliz Navidad. Feliz cumpleaños, mate. Feliz cumpleaños. Oh my god. Meanwhile, here we go. Fate is moving out. He's warping across the map. He is going to reinforce and he's going to hit NeO hard. Meanwhile, NeO, what does he have at home? He has a bunker. He has repair potential. He has a tank that's not in position. Widowmines are about to hit. But I am worried for him, man. The tank does siege up in the main base. He's anticipating Blink Stalkers. He's anticipating Stalkers into his main, not a push at his natural. Meanwhile, here we go. The Widowmines do drop in. Do we see a response? Do we see a response? Do we see... No response! Ah! 6 probes go down, and more probes are going to go down in the main base. Fate, he pulls the trigger. He has to go now. He has to hit the bases of NeO. And NeO, a second tank comes out. He may have to evacuate the natural. Here we go, the repairs are not fast enough, the bunker will fall. And now so will the SCVs, they do have to go back onto the high ground. That's, oh no, the force field! Oh, the workers! Ay, ay, ay. They don't manage to find a way back into the main base, but the tank is shelling away quite well at these gateway units. These sentries are so low, oh my god. The SCVs themselves could probably turn around and kill them. And with that, Fate cannot break up into the main base. And NeO holds, and these Widow Mines, they're getting more shots off. It's gonna take a little bit of time for NeO to reclaim control of his natural. We must say, oh, there's another force field, but it was a little bit too late there. There we go. Both sentries get taken out. Only Stalkers remaining. No more force fields are available for Fate. And NeO, he can reclaim his natural, expand further. He does lose 9 SCVs, which is, you know, it's not the best position to be in, but he killed 10 probes across the map. Like, this is okay. Like, NeO survives, and the game continues on. What's scary though is that Fate, he's not taking a third base. He is doubling down. He's just warping in consistently across the map. We do have 2 tanks now. The bunker is about to finish up. And if Fate waits a little bit longer, and he will, this bunker will finish, it will be filled up by these Marines. Breaking this position, I don't know if it's possible here for Fate. There we go. Forced to expand, forced to take a third base. Fate only content with containing his opponent right now. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, and we'll see what NeO does from here. So he does a third CC on the way behind this. His macro is up and running. Unlike the previous Terran player, we do have upgrades. Combat shields and stim are on the way for NeO. You'll love to see it. And amidst all of this, we see a drop coming across the map. There's very limited vision out on the map for Fate, so the likelihood of him catching this drop is honestly not very high at all, and he's forced to back off. Now NeO is free to expand and take a third. So boys, we have a game. We have a game on our hands. Let's go. As the drop is headed towards the third base, we have a couple of exposed probes here, but the army of Fate did return home, so the likelihood of him really losing this third base isn't really high. We'll see if NeO decides to ignore the third and maybe try and go straight into the natural instead, bearing in mind there is no blink on these Stalkers, so they are going to have a hard time keeping up. But there we go. NeO, what he does do is he confirms that there is in fact a third Nexus. Well done here for NeO. So with this, of course, he knows, okay, I can breathe a little bit easy. I know that Fate is more worried about macroing up, getting more probes, getting more upgrades, and I can expand, right? I can take my third, and oh, behind this is even pushing out, and this is terrifying. What's important about the earlier push is that NeO didn't lose a single tank, and now this madman has 5 tanks. He has stim, he has combat shields, he's got his medevacs, he has a Raven full of energy, ready to anti-armor missile. And here we go, the tanks, they siege up, arguably a little bit prematurely. He does have to leapfrog forward. He gets up the ramp as well. Fate gives up that position. Down goes the anti-armor missile. Not the best shot, but still pretty good nonetheless. Charge is done though. He's trying to go in. Another anti-armor missile just blankets the entire army. And now what is there left here for Fate? Sure, he has some gateway units, but they mean nothing here in the face of all of these tanks. A 6th tank joins the fray as well. My god. And this is going to be the last hurrah here for Fate. Sure, he focuses down the Raven, and that's nice and all, but GG gets called, and NeO takes game number 1. GG. Well played by NeO. He was able to scout his opponent. He was able to, even though his Widow Mines dealt so much damage across the map, Fate rolled some dice. He flipped some coins. He's like, you know what? I'm going to, I don't want to say all in, but he went for a very committed proxy. And because of that proxy and because of his aggression, he had nothing at home to defend. The Widow Mines were uncontested for a long time. And his push, sure, like he was able to deny mining at the natural and kill some SCVs. He didn't have enough to break up into the ramp. And even despite like forcing the lift up of the natural, like he honestly didn't have that much DPS either to really clean up the natural base. So Yeah, it just that push was really lacking from Fate. And even though NeO was anticipating something else completely, even though like he was sure that maybe Stalkers are gonna blink into the main or something, he was still able to hold on. Meanwhile, goddamn. This always happens. This always happens. Alright, we are setting up for game number 2. And it looks like we will be joined by another caster. It looks like Cosmos, the Portuguese/Brazilian caster, is going to be joining us here for game number 2. I love you, Cosmos. He's giving the duck some love in the chat. It's great. It's beautiful. Cosmos, fun fact, he was actually competing earlier in this tournament. !B in the chat, by the way, if you want to have a look at the bracket. Cosmos went up against Chorocarlo, but it looks like Cosmos, his tournament run ended prematurely there. He was knocked out by Chorocarlo. And now Cosmos is joining us here to cast. He knows what series to follow. To be fair, he always goes for the Brazilian players. To be fair. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE. We have our Peruvian Terran player who is currently leading this series 1-0. Representing the CranKy Ducklings, it is NeO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss. He is blue, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Fate. And yeah, we'll see how this series plays out. Crown? Crown just letting us know. Yeah, the Fate was having a hard time after the failed push. Obviously, like, after a committed attack like that, like, you have to do a lot to get back into the game, right? And that is why, like, taking a third base, it's a little bit questionable. Like, it's understandable that he wants to take a third and try to get back into the game economically, but you could argue that maybe, you know, there are more drastic measures that you can take, right? Like throwing down a Dark Shrine, you know, throwing down some tech that maybe your opponent won't be expecting. Maybe follow up with another 2-base all-in, you know, double down, right? Instead of trying to expand and go into a later game. You know, there are different avenues, different ways of attempting to come back, but regardless, it was going to be an uphill battle, and yeah, we'll see if anything changes here in game 2. We are on Oxide, you know, a more quote-unquote standard map. One of the more standard maps in the map pool. As we can see here, it's going to be more difficult for a player like NeO to get in with a Reaper to scout his opponent, as it is all walled off as opposed to on Light Shade. But we see that NeO doesn't intend to do that, as he skips the Reaper and goes for a Marine first. There we go. This will get scouted as the probe does go across the map. There's no Reaper. I don't have to worry about that by any means. And he is able to just go in, scout the opener, factory, Larax, all that good stuff. And, ooh, once again, Fate showing a very different opener here. A little bit more reminiscent of Game 1 versus Mako, where we have a Twilight Council being thrown down. The more standard thing would be for this to be Blink. I mean, it's got to be Blink, right? It makes it would make the most sense here for Fate. It's very standard, to say the least, right? Blink, there's so much you can do with it. It's so diverse when it comes to being an upgrade. You can defend against drops and banshees at home. You can be aggressive across the map with a Warp Prism as well. Like, there's so much available to you and so much map control to be had. As, oh my god, it's followed up immediately by a Robo. Mein Gott. Meanwhile, NeO, just like the previous game, obviously he's getting here in a very different manner. I love the cheeky Widowmine in between the production. By the way, I love it. In case an Oracle came across the map. And oh my god, I was about to say he's going for a Widowmine drop again. But because of the opener, this is going to be a little bit faster. And he is even committing to an armory behind this. I love this from NeO. I kind of love this from NeO. Obviously, because Fate opened up with the Robo immediately after the Twilight Council, he should have access to detection. We should be seeing an Observer come out. Prioritizes the War Prism, understandable, I guess. What's also important to note is that we do have 3 more gateways being thrown down. 4 gateways again, just like the previous game, but this time we are going to be having Blink finishing up very quickly, War Prism going across the map, and now I'm getting a little bit concerned. NeO, he's investing a lot in this drop, in these Widow Mines, and I'm sure they're going to deal a lot of damage, right? They did damage last game, they're going to do damage again this game, especially because right now there's no detection. But once Fate pulls the trigger, it's going to be all about what NeO has at home to defend. Bunker is done. Tank is on the way. Oh my goodness, this guy, he's just so on point. Obviously, it's going to be all about the positioning. The great thing about Stalkers are they can bypass the defenses at the natural and go straight into the main base. So, yeah, we'll see how things turned out here. Oh my god, one of the Widow Mines gets taken out. The second shot goes off only on 2 probes. The Observer finishes up, and it looks like this will all be cleaned up here in the main bases of Fate. Meanwhile, Fate is across the map with his War Prism. Now he can warp in and again try and go into the main. The main is looking pretty exposed, not gonna lie, but a second tank comes out. Fate was a little bit too slow. He also had to warp in at home defensively, not across the map, so this did slow Fate down. We see Chronos on all of the gateways. Fate, he wants to pull the trigger, he wants to go in, but the second bunker is about to finish up here for NeO. He's anticipating the push, he's getting ready for it. He needs a little bit more time here as, we do see the blink on forward on top of the Marines, but they do get into the bunker just barely in time. Third tank pops out. We have a Raven as well. These Stalkers, they do manage to blink past the army though. They get into the mineral line. They're going to be able to take out a couple of these workers, but they need to deal more damage. And they need to be careful, like he doesn't want to get cornered. He does blink on forward. One tank immediately goes down. There were not enough Marines to help buffer here as the Marines are here in the natural. Oh god. And with that, things are getting a little bit out of hand, not going to lie. Especially because these Stalkers, if they wanted to, they could even blink down into the natural. Oh, we have to be so careful with the Raven. The Raven, it's going to get picked off. Oh, the Raven goes down without throwing a single spell at the Protoss. And now we see a recall. Oh my god. Fate, he turns tail. He goes all the way back home. He gets another base, gets a third base behind this. And now NeO's in a rough place. As we quickly have a look at the units lost. He lost his tank. He lost his Raven. That's so important. That means that it's going to be so difficult to counterattack now. I mean, sure, he has 2 tanks, but the loss of that Raven changes so much. And I'm really concerned here for NeO. Obviously, it does mean that the follow-up push, like, it is going to be a little bit delayed here. Instead, he's focusing on his defense. He's working on his upgrade. Stim is on the way, but Fate has returned. He has vision of the natural. He sees the tank exposed. Does he want it? And he does! Tank goes down. A bunker will fall. The repairs were not enough. Unfortunately, the Marines, the majority of them were in the main, not in the natural where they needed to be. Oh, and the blinks are good enough here. The focus fire is pretty good from NeO. He's trading as best he can. Oh, God. But how many Marines was that? 21 Marines! 21 Marines go down. And the problem is that now, after losing all those Marines, there's no way he pushes out. There's no way. Like, we need a third base, and there it is. NeO, he's aware of it. You know it. I know it. We need to see a third TC. And the problem is that this is so late in comparison to Fate. Fate here, he's had his third Nexus up for a long time now. He's basically fully saturated. Fate, this game is in full control, and I mean, NeO can maybe make something happen with drops, but the problem is that Fate, he's on top of the CC. He's going to force a cancel on the third. Oh my god. We do see a cancel in time, but There we go. NeO knows that he can't waste his time with these stalkers. He needs to go across the map if he wants to win this game. Surviving isn't enough at this point, and I mean, sure, the Blink Stalkers are forced back, and NeO, he holds onto his main, but again, he's only on 2 bases. Now he throws down the third once again after being forced to cancel, and now all of NeO's hopes and dreams are in this drop. What can he get done? He does drop into the main base. He's going to be able to depower some of these buildings. He gets a pylon. That's great. He needs a little bit more than that. He's going to stim on forward into the main, deeper into the main. Maybe try and get another pylon, but Fate does respond with the rest of his army. NeO is forced to pick up and back off. What I will say is that thankfully NeO, he didn't lose too much here in this drop, but what's worrisome is just the overall state of the game. Fate, he's working on his 4th base. Like, his economy is insane. Like, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Fate. And I'm sure NeO is aware of that. Oh god. The supply block, no! NeO, please. I kind of think that the win condition right now for NeO is not just to push out across the map, but to pull the boys. Like, there we go. The great minds think alike. NeO, he's listening to the stream. We gotta pull the boys and we gotta go all in. There's no other way about this. And unfortunately, Fate sees this. He sees the boys. He knows that all he has to do now is defend. He throws down some cannons, throws down some shield batteries. If he holds here, he wins. And here we go, NeO, he's got the boys. We're going to be seeing, I'm sure, some bunkers may be thrown down. Regardless, he's going to try and buffer for these tanks. The tanks, they do not siege up. The Zealots are getting on top of everything. Full surround on the Terran army. And, oh god, it just doesn't look like there's enough here. GG gets called. And Fate ties up the series 1-1. GG. Meanwhile, in the chat, Rainmaker. Yes, Fate is without Chaos. If you're wondering, Chaos Fate is a Peruvian Terran player. Fate is a Brazilian Protoss, as Crown was clarifying. Yes, 2 very similar names, I guess, but very different players. Very different players. But we are going to be looking to get into the ace match. We're tied up 1-1 apiece between these 2 players, and now it's all going to come down to game number 3. I'm really curious to see what the map is going to be, by the way. You know, we've had Lightshade, we've had Oxide. What were the vetoes? Where will we end up in game number 3? Is it going to be on Jagannatha? I can't imagine it's going to be on Oxide. I mean, sorry, Romanticide. But we'll see. We'll see. As the lobby's been made, and we are diving on in. Oh. It is going to be 2,000 atmospheres. Oh my. Alright. Here we go. I'm just catching up on the stream. Watching the instant replay. But here we go. Game 3 between these 2 Latin American pro players who will move on to face the Peruvian Protoss player Zions, who is waiting for the winner of this series in the next round. Let's find out. As spawning in the top right hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player. He is red, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is NeO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing Eximius Gaming. He is without Chaos. He is Fate. And I've got my eye on you, NeO. What is the plan here? Oh, okay, the Rax is at home. No additional gases were taken. NeO just sneaking across the map with this SCV. Chilling here in the natural. Chilean, if you will. And Fate goes across the map with his probe. So what's important is... Oh, oh god. Oh god. So what's important is that the probe sees that nothing is really amiss here, and NeO, being a little bit cheeky, is going for that engineering bay block. Oh boy. So just being a little bit annoying here. Again, he shouldn't allow this to finish. Should just barely finish it up as close as possible, just to delay the bases of Fate. And Fate hasn't... Okay, he has seen this. He has seen this. Interesting that he didn't go for a Zealot first. He's actually, despite there being an NG Bay here, he is waiting for the Cyber Core. I guess he doesn't want to waste any resources, but it does mean that his Nexus will be a little bit more delayed. Oh my god, if he even... He doesn't want a Nexus, mate. He doesn't want a Nexus. The Cyber Core is about to finish up. Are we going to see a Stargate? Stargate? Oh my god. NeO, please. He needs to see this. He's scouting right now. He's looking for the proxy. Will he spot this? Oh my god. The Stargate, the Void Rays, the shield batteries, they're on the way. Oh my god. NeO, please. He sussed it out. He knew that something was wrong. He's like, hold on. Like, this isn't adding up. Where's the other pylon? The second pylon has to be somewhere, and he's looking. He's looking, but he doesn't find it. Oh my god. The SCV, the hero SCV, is finally going to... no, he gets distracted. Okay, he does spot the proxy in the end. He is aware of what's coming his way. He needs to respond. What do we have? A Widow Mine? Oh my, interesting. Very interesting. We have a reactor on the way. Marines are going to be popping out. We should be seeing a bunker, I imagine. Engineering bay is not finished. I kind of want him to finish it, not gonna lie. But there we go. The Marines are here. The pylon will not finish? Question mark? Oh god. But here come the Stalkers. They are going to be able to protect this pylon. I'm really concerned here for NeO. He's starting his starport. I'm really torn. Personally, I don't think I like Widowmine defense. Like, you have to rely that your opponent kind of flies too close to the sun, and he gets hit by the Widowmines. One of them already gets wasted. I mean, sure, it gets a Stalker, I guess. There we go. Nice micro. He does pull back with that Widowmine. He does keep it alive. Ay. But the Void Ray does bypass these bunkers as well. Depot is going to go down. Oh, the Void Ray is actually taking a little bit of damage here, so Fate has to be careful with his micro. We do see the Widowmines are being repositioned. A third Widowmine is on the way. We need some goddamn Vikings. Get in here, NeO. Get in here. Oh, God. But the depot is going to go down, and this may supply block NeO. NeO did have to call down a depot. Call down some supply, I should say. Widowmine shot's going to go off. Oh, my God. Beautiful shot there. One shot is not enough to take down the Void Ray, but... a lot of damage was dealt. He could snipe it later on with another shot. Oh. Meanwhile, we do see the Raxes do have to be lifted up. They do have to be evacuated. So far, oh, it looks like this Widowmine will be picked off. Ugh. So one Widowmine already going down. We have a tank on the way. Interesting choice. Sure, it can add DPS to the shield batteries, I guess. The first Viking comes out, which is very key here. Vikings, they can kite these Void Rays. You have to be so careful with them, though. The micro has to be on point. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oof. It's a delicate dance. Very delicate. Ooh, nice from both players. Fate was trying to bait out that Widowmine shot, but NeO was having none of it. Meanwhile, we do... okay, it's just a probe. Never mind. Ooh, we have a recall. Fate is looking to transition. He wants to retake his natural base. Oh my god, no more Void Rays are in production. I feel like Fate, he's had enough. He's realized that he cannot end the game. Oh my god, how the turns will take me. No, the Void Ray! Ah, no, the Viking! Oh my god, one Viking gets picked up for free. I had nice positioning on the Cyclone, but it looks like the Cyclone is also going to get picked off like NeO. The micro is a little bit sloppy here, losing a Viking and a Cyclone back to back. Meanwhile, Nexus is on the way here for Fate. Oh boy. The hard thing about NeO losing those 2 units is that it does mean that, like, after he cleans this up, like, the likelihood of a counterattack working is slim. Meanwhile, there we go. It looks like Fate, for the most part, he has gotten ready to just give up on this position. Oh my god, the Widowmine shots! Ooh. Another Widowmine shot goes off. Still no Void Rays die though. 0 Void Rays have fallen. Oh my god, just look at the units lost. Oh my god. Meanwhile, NeO, he's of course also getting ready to expand. We do have the natural base on the way here, the second CC, if you will. And we do see a scan. NeO confirming that there is in fact a Nexus, confirming that, hey, you know, at least there aren't too many workers here mining from the base. He's not in the worst position. Not by any means, as now he is finally breaking free from the contain of the shield batteries and the Void Rays. Oh boy. And we'll see where we go from here. We'll see. I imagine NeO is going to want to try and hit a timing here with Stim once it finishes up. Interesting choice. He actually throws down an armory. Yo, I love this. NeO wants to make use of these Widowmines and go for some Widowmine drops. There we go. Medevac finishes up. Drops are headed across the map. And what is the detection looking like? We don't have an Oracle. We don't have a Robo. These Widowmine drops, as long as they're able to burrow, as long as the medevac doesn't get intercepted by these Void Rays, this is huge. This is big. Oh my god. Let's go. So sure, we have a bunch of gateways, sure, Fate. So we may end up in a base trade scenario, kind of base trade scenario, where these Widowmines are going to deal devastating damage in the bases of Fate, but Fate is going for a very strong push here with charge lots. There we go, he's warping in, he's reinforcing across the map. What is the defensive position looking like? There are no more Widowmines. There is one, sorry, in the main base. There's one tank as well. A single bunker. Oh god, there's just so much firepower in these Void Rays. Jesus Christ, I just don't know if NeO can hold. We'll see how good the Widowmine shots are going to be. Let's see, we go, the first shot's going to go off. Ooh, good connection there on the Zealots. They do immediately pounce upon that bunker. The bunker immediately goes down, and now in come the Void Rays and the charge lots. GG gets called. Ah, there wasn't enough there, and Fate takes the series 2-1. Ah. GG. Ah, god. 3 Widowmines. Especially because it wasn't detection. Imagine if those 3 Widowmines were at home for defense. Imagine. If you add 3 Widowmine shots off, I feel like the Zealots probably would have gone down, and obviously it wouldn't have been as easy for Fate to push up into the main base. Wow. Wow. Ah, god. Feels bad, man. GG. Well played. Fate takes the series 2-1. I loved the moves that NeO was going for. I love the idea behind the Widowmine drop and the lack of detection. But yeah, the defenses at home weren't quite there. When it comes to the anti-air, the tanks, the positioning, just wasn't enough there to hold against that 2-base push. GG.